Welcome to Climate Change Crisis News.
Today's top story. The first non-adult Taoiseach has been elected and 60% of the new government are under the age of 25.
I vow to make climate action my number one priority.
I mean, we had to vote minors into office. They seem to be the only ones wanting to take action on climate change.
The newly proposed fossil fuel quota and cap is sparking hot debate.
I didn't buy my luxury 5,000 horsepower 9-seater SUV for my pool and I, only to be told I can't fill it with petrol. It's my right to drive fluffy buns around in whatever vehicle I choose.
Making public transport domestic staycations the ideal travel of the future.
There are things to do in Ireland for my holidays? I had no idea.
All this and more on CCC News today. Wildfires continue to rage around the globe, destroying homes, habitats and crops. Yet many keep pouring funds into the businesses emitting the most carbon.
We at CCC News find this very strange indeed. And now, Ireland's first teenage Taoiseach.
I promise you that no other issue is more important for me than working to correct the impact we've had on our climate and rebalancing our relationship with our planet.
How do you feel about the Taoiseach and the majority of the new government being this young?
I'm for it. At least they'll be alive to have to account for their own actions. Makes me think they'll make better ones for the future, and not just for the short term.
What's it like to be the mother of a 16-year-old Taoiseach?
I am so proud. It seems like only yesterday he learned how to use the clothes dryer, and now he's insisting that we never use it.
Here with us in the studio is our head political correspondent, Christy McSmarts. Where do you think the massive shift from the Irish citizens came from on their acceptance of a much, much younger government?
Well, there seem to be many diverse reasons on this, but the number one response I've received is stemming from seeing previous governments' extremely quick and urgent action in the COVID-19 pandemic, with the lockdowns, social distancing and speed of vaccination development, all within weeks and months after the pandemic began. Young climate activists use this as an example in pointing out generations of government inaction for something at least as serious as COVID. We have had hard science on climate change for over 50 years, and no serious change really seems to have come into effect.
You feel this led to the voting in of a younger, more climate-focused group of politicians?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Christy. Next up.
And now we would like to speak with one of our older experts, Oisín Coughlan, who is a true friend of the earth.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oisín, at the Mary Robinson Climate Change Conference, you said, "I'm Oisín and I'm scared." You're an adult. Why did you say that?
Because it is scary to see this prediction scientists made 18 years ago when I started campaigning coming true before our eyes and seeing the impact climate breakdown is having on people around the world.
Does that mean you have no hope left? Are you giving up?
No, I'll never give up. And as Greta Thunberg put it, don't look for hope, look for action. Because when you see action, hope is everywhere. And that's why with this new youth-led government determined to take action, I expect to be more hopeful every day.
Yes, indeed, Oisín. This positive and action-focused way of thinking is exactly what we need now. Thank you for joining us. Oisín Coughlan, Chief Executive of Friends of the Earth.
My pleasure, you're welcome.
A change in the way we look at holidays is upon us. The younger generation is pushing less international travel by air and more exploration of domestic destinations via public transportation. But not everyone is happy about this. Back to our roving reporter for more.
I have been flying several times a year since my debs. I couldn't imagine not getting a bit of sun every few months.
Would you consider travelling within Ireland?
People do that. I really don't think anything here can compete with a destination like Bali. I went there on my honeymoon and have been there once a year since. It really is divine.
Mom, do you think I can visit Bali on my honeymoon?
Oh, Poppet. That'll be underwater by then with all this climate change.
Ireland has so much to offer, from the windy west to the energetic east. Castles, lakes, forests, music, theatres, hiking, etc. And this is all relatively accessible through public transportation.
With the new government's public transportation tax credits, I think this will really push people to travel more around our wonderful island.
We now go to our weekly farming fact with everyone's favourite sustainable farmer, Farmer MacDonald.
Cutting down on the consumption of cattle and using pasture-based grazing will aid in the reduction of carbon emissions. A bit less cows going a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there on my farm these days. But more generations of people will be saying everywhere woohoo because of it.
Thanks, Farmer MacDonald. The Taoiseach has, just moments ago, called a press conference. We now go live.
Honey, fix your tie.
Thanks, Mum. I, along with the new Irish government, will adopt a plan to follow a similar pledge to Sustainable Development Goals laid out by the United Nations. The focus will initially place emphasis on SDGs directly linked to climate action initiatives, as we think this will lead to benefits for other SDGs such as good health and well-being and industry innovations.
That's it for CCC News today. Stay tuned for CCC News Tonight and its ongoing coverage of climate activist Greta Thunberg's weeks-long chaining of herself to billionaire Jeff Bezos's newly built space rocket.
She better unchain herself soon. I need to be able to access my escape rocket. Exploration rocket.
Remember, if the government isn't committed to climate action,
vote them out. Till next time.